didn't think it was real. See, me and niggas like this have never been equal. I don't project my insecurities on other people. He fiended for props like addicts with pipes and needles. So he felt he had to prove to everyone he was evil. A feeble-minded young man with infinite potential. The product of a ghetto-bred capitalistic mental. Coincidentally, dropped out of school to sell weed. Dancing with the devil, smoked until his eyes would bleed. But he was sick of selling trees and gave in to his greed. And I tell you about my little homie right now. So Billy started robbing niggas anything he could do to get his respect back in the eyes of his crew. Starting fights over little shit up on the block. Stepped up to selling mothers and brothers the crack rock. Working overtime, making money for the crack spot. Hit the jackpot and wanted to move up to cocaine. And filling the Scarface fantasy stuck in his brain. Tired of them hood niggas treating him the same. He wanted to be major like the cutthroat to the thugs. But when he tried to step to him, niggas showed him no love. They told him any motherfucking coward can sell drugs. Any bitch nigga with a gun can bust slugs. Any nigga with a red shirt can front like a blood. Even puppy smoke a motherfucker up in the club. But only a real dog can stab someone till they die. Standing in front of them, staring straight into their eyes. Billy realized that these men were well guarded, and they wanted to test him before business started. Suggested raping a chick to prove he was cold-hearted. Now he had a choice between going back to his life or making money with made men up in his sight. His dreams about cars and ice made him agree. A hardcore nigga is all he ever wanted to be. So he met them Friday night at 2:45. Let's take this ride, fellas. They rolled around the project slow while it was raining, smoking blunts, drinking and joking for entertainment. Till they saw a woman on the street walking alone, 3 in the morning, coming back from work on her way home. So they quietly got out the car and followed her, walking through the projects. The darkness swallowed her. They wrapped the shirt around her head and knocked her onto the floor.
This is it, kid. Now you got your chance to be raw.
So Billy yoked her up and grabbed the chick by the hand and dragged her into a lobby that had nobody there. Struggled hard, but they forced her to go up the stairs. Got to the roof and then held her down on the ground, yelling, "Shut the fuck up! Stop moving around!" The shirt covered her face, but she screamed and clawed. Billy stomped on the bitch till it broke in her jaw. Them dirty bastards knew exactly what they were doing. They kicked her, cracked her rib till she stopped moving. Blood leaking through the cloth, she cried silently, and then they all proceeded to rape her violently. Billy was made to go first, but each of them took a turn, ripping her up and choking her until her throat burned. A broken jaw mumbled the guard, but they weren't concerned. When they were done and she was lying, bloody, broken and bruised, one of them niggas pulled out a brand new 22. He told them that she was a witness for what she go through, and if he killed her, he was guaranteed a spot in the crew. He thought about it for a minute, she was practically dead. So he leaned over and put the gun right to her head. And now I have to finish my story. For all of you here in Ann Arbor, the only way that he can finish. Right before he pulled the trigger and ended her life, he thought about the cocaine with the platinum and ice, and he felt strong standing along with his new brothers. Cocked the gat to her head and pulled back the shirt cover. But what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, cause he was staring into the eyes of his own mother. She looked back at him and cried cause he had forsaken her. She cried more painfully, and when they were raping her, his whole world stopped. He couldn't even contemplate his corruption had successfully changed his fate. And he remembered how his moms used to come home late, working hard for nothing, cause now what was he worth? He turned away from the woman that had once given him birth and cried out to the sky, cause he was lonely and scared. But only the devil responded, cause God wasn't there. And right then he knew what it was to be empty and cold, and so he jumped off the roof, died with no soul. They say death takes you to a better place, but I doubt it. After that they killed his mother and never spoke about it. And listen, cause the story that I'm telling is true, cause I was there with Billy Jacobs and I raped his mom too. Now the devil follows me everywhere that I go. In fact, I'm sure he's standing among one of you at my shows. In every street cipher, listening to Lil Thug's flow. Could be standing right next to you and you wouldn't know. The devil grows inside the hearts of the selfish and wicked. White, brown, yellow, and black color is not restricted. You have a self-destructive destiny when you're inflicted, and you'll be one of God's children that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never, cause a dance with the devil might last you forever. very important that I be allowed to speak after this song. Every time after the song, when I first wrote it and started performing it, people would come to me afterwards, and if you just let me say something, they would always say, Technique, is that a true story? Did it really happen? And I told them right to their face, it happens every day, in every city, in every country, all over the fucking world. And that makes it important for us to make it important to everybody here. So my message is for the brothers in here, for all the men in this room. Remember something, your mother, your sister, your grandmother, the girl you came here with tonight, or the woman you're gonna marry someday, yes, she might have lost her virginity by being a victim of rape or been a victim of that sometime in her life. And brother, she might never tell you. You might never know, and it's because women are prouder than men, and they've been forced to suffer twice as much as we've had through to any fight for freedom. We have never had a successful revolution. Think about it. In this country or any other country in the world, you have never had a successful revolution without having our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, our grandmothers right by our side, firing along with us for freedom. There would be no American revolution without our women. There'd be no Cuban, no Chinese, no whatever fucking revolution. I say that to say this. So before you go home from the Immortal Technique show and you think you're a fucking commando because you came here, remember, you make the changes you want to see in the rest of the world in yourself first. That's why, hold on. That's why, listen, if you see somebody touching little kids at the park, that's the time, not drunk in the bar. If you see somebody trying to drag a little girl into a van, that's the time, not trying to front like you hard at a party, when you need to stand the fuck up like a fucking man and knock somebody's ass right the fuck out. Remember, only a coward fights the fights that he thinks he can win all the time. The big dude looks at a little guy, oh, I can beat him, I'll fight him right now. That's not heart, you fucking coward. Being courageous and having courage means you fight the fights that need fighting, not the fights that you just think you can win. That's what it means to have heart. That's what it means to be part of hip-hop. That's what it means to be part of the underground, not that fake-ass commercial bullshit. And